I would say to anyone watching it, it's a comedy, but just like look deeper. You know, like again, it's to me, it's Big Lebowski vibes. Just this is funny, but there's more going on here than you think there is.
Yeah,
especially about the human condition. So just check it out, guys. Drugstore June.
Do it.
I think it opens wide March 1st or something like that. Or more theaters it'll be open. But
damn, this movie sounds deeper than Oppenheimer over here.
having not seen Oppenheimer, I can tell you it's a pretty deep movie.
Hello and welcome to the 85th episode of the 30s podcast. My name is Clint.
My name is Marcus.
Hello, Marcus.
What's going on, Clint? Notice I've dropped the uncle.
Wow, what is happening to you?
Experiment.
Experiment.
Yeah, just see what happens.
Wow.
Even though that's such part of my brand is the uncle.
It's the uncle. Yeah, I mean, is it though? Do you like being an uncle?
In real life or on the internet?
You could be everyone's uncle, I guess. That'd be okay.
Yeah, true. In real life, it hasn't been fulfilling yet, but then the baby's just a baby.
Yeah.
So they can't really do anything yet. But
We'll give it some slack.
I like on the internet, it's got like a nice, like unique sound to it. Uncle Marcus kind of rolls off the tongue, right?
Have you ever thought cousin Marcus?
No, because that makes you sound juvenile.
Oh,
And
well,
I'm 35 years old.
I mean, you look like you could pass as a Gen Zer,
Yeah, I get that.
which is good. It's a compliment. I do not.
The hair, I'm wearing just a hoodie. I don't know really.
It's your whole vibe.
Yeah, but once you put me in a room with a Gen Zer, it's like, oh, he's
You
not.
will run away.
It's
so
not
fast.
one of us. Yeah.
You'll
No,
just
I wouldn't run
escape.
away. They would know, like, oh, you don't know
Yeah.
who David Dobrik is?
David Dobrik. They'd be like, you don't know Peso Pluma?
I don't know what that is.
What
Peso
voice is
Pluma?
that?
Peso Pluma, Mr. McKay, you don't know Peso Pluma?
Where's Peso Pluma?
Peso Pluma. It's he does the Spanish music.
Speaking of Spanish, Caesar's
Spanish.
here.
Hi,
Shout
What do you
Buddy,
call
sorry.
that music, producer Caesar?
called regional.
Regional?
Regional Mexican music.
Regional
Regional?
Mexican
Yeah, yeah.
music.
It's like the
It's
music
of the
that Marcus
region.
was talking about the other day.
Who?
Which one?
The dun, dun, dun,
Oh, yeah, that. Boom, boom, boom,
yeah,
boom,
but that's
boom.
a style of it. He does like
Yeah.
just acoustic guitars.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's like hip hop lyrics, but like on acoustic guitars. It's kind
So
of
what is the name? Peso
Peso
Peso Pluma.
Pluma.
Peso like the money?
Peso.
Yeah, featherweight in Spanish. Peso
Featherweight.
Pluma. Yeah.
Okay.
Featherweight.
Pluma means feather. Peso
writing
means
it down?
feather.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know
So
what
when
that
the
is.
kids ask you if you know, you're like, oh yeah, featherweight.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I'm
featherweight.
familiar with featherweight. This is a young guy or an old
Wait,
guy?
is it like featherweight as if like in fighting?
Yeah, like a boxer.
Oh, like boxing.
okay.
Oh.
Yeah, he's like a young guy. His music is, for some people, I support the cause, but I'm not really.
It's not for you, Caesar. It's probably not for us either. Or
I
for me
tried.
at least. I won't speak for you.
You tried?
Oh, so you tried.
I was on a treadmill at the gym, and I started playing it, and I'm like, I can't.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't get into this. I
Yeah,
tried.
I brought up David Dobrik because you know that Dobrik's Pizza next to the Comedy Store. Some Gen Z friends of mine were like went there, and I was like, "Well, why'd you guys?" I was like, "Oh, well, how was it?" And they're like, "Oh, it was all right." And I was like, "What made you want to go?" And I'm like, "Oh, David Dobrik."
Ew.
like,
Did
well,
they even go to the comedy store?
They aren't comedy people.
So they went all the way out there for that pizza place?
No, they were doing other stuff
Oh.
in LA, but it's okay to not be into comedy. Let's make
Sure.
that clear. It may be a red flag.
It's a red flag
But it's still
for me.
okay. But yeah, they went to Dobrik's Pizza and we're just like, I was like, why'd you go there? I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, David Dobrik." I'm like, but he's not a chef or he's just
Yeah.
a YouTube guy. I know that much about him. He's a YouTube
Right.
guy.
That's like, it reminds me of like Mr. Beast has that food brand now.
Which I think they're suing him. There's
Who?
some kind of scandal with Mr. Beast and his food thing. I believe. I'm not an expert on Mr. Beast.
Marcus Witness News.
Yeah. Yes. I think something's happening in the world.
We think something's happening. We're here to tell you about it.
Yeah.
We have no facts. We just thought about it right now.
Yeah.
That's the byline.
That's how it works for most news outlets.
Yeah, they really don't know. They're like, well, could we turn this into an hour? And that's literally the news.
Yeah.
The news is just podcast ideas
Kind of.
that have to go 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
And that's how it feels if I ever get the displeasure to have to watch it.
Yeah.
When it's like at the gym
They put the news on at the gym.
Sometimes.
You have to get a pump on to Tucker Carlson.
He gives me the pump.
Get a pump on.
He gives me some kind of pump. I'm like, oh, I'm doing pretty good.
I had a bad joke.
What?
I'll let it disperse. Let's get off of this.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with Gen Z, or maybe it does, but you saw Madame Webb.
I saw Caesar. Brewster Caesar.
Saw it.
I saw maybe the funniest movie.
You did?
But it wasn't a...
No.
Unintentionally funny?
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
We were supposed to do this a few days ago, and Clint texted me the day before, like, hey, do you want to watch Madame Webb for the podcast? And I said, I do not want to watch Madame Webb for the podcast.
But you just don't get it. Because
I think... Okay, well, explain it to me. What is her... Explain Madame Webb.
like
do
the
they
joy...
say Madame Webb in the movie or Madame Webb?
I don't think they call her that at all.
She's not Webb at all.
They never... You know,
She's
there's
just
a
like-
few things you should know about this
Like
movie.
Kelly Arachnid. Just...
Kelly
Cassie, I don't
Arachnid.
know.
Well, her last name is Webb.
Okay, so
So
she
that's-
is
that makes
Webb.
sense.
Okay.
That's the big thing.
And she
so
happens
this
to be
movie,
associated with spiders.
yeah, they keep making these Spider-Man villain movies without Spider-Man, which
Right.
just feels
Did
terrible and soulless.
Morpheus?
Like Morbius.
Morbius. Sorry, that's the
Morbin.
Matrix.
It's Morbin time.
Morbius.
Oh,
right.
hell
That
yeah.
was the whole thing.
Ding ding. Morbin
damn,
time.
too.
It's probably worse. It's definitely worse than Morbius.
Okay.
Because at least Jared Leto, like he's an Oscar. He did win an Oscar.
Yeah.
He's good, but it's like
But not in Morbius.
not in Morbius.
And then the other one was Venom, which I actually liked Venom.
Yeah, I
Venom's
like that too.
cool,
it was
but
like
that's
a-
because they turn him into like a anti-hero.
I liked that he was kind of autistic in it.
Oh, Tom Hardy or Venom.
Tom Hardy.
Like they made. What if they made like Venom a little more autistic? Because the symbiote is like a different thing.
He had
you
like
know?
a weird way of Venom, of just like, he spoke like a toddler.
Maybe the Venom symbiote is on the spectrum.
Well, I thought
Wow.
Tom Hardy was on the spectrum.
Well, Tom Hardy
People
is
were,
like
talking like, he was like, like he had like
well,
a
that's
weird,
because of is that with the symbiote or not?
both. And when you remember he's in the
Yeah, he
lobster,
played like a really awkward guy.
He
did
did,
like tater
yeah.
tots. Remember that?
Yeah,
That's,
is that
was
the
that's
way-
the same movie, right?
Did they make him do that to be like more likable?
I don't
Because
know.
Eddie Brock is a douche.
Yeah.
Who knows what like the agenda of these movies are? Like,
I don't-
makes no
Yeah,
sense.
he was in that lobster tank and was like, lobsters. And he was like, "Oh."
Maybe he does have issues. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so back to Madam
So
Web.
Madam Web stars Dakota Johnson, which I can't think of a time when I enjoyed watching her act.
I've not seen her.
50 Shades of Grey?
I've not seen 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the clips I have seen, I was kind of bored by it.
Well, what else has she done besides 50 Shades of Grey that she may have seen? I know she's
I
a
mean,
Nepo
are you a fan,
baby.
Caesar?
No, I'm
No.
indifferent.
Is there's
I'm a fan of her as like a celebrity, but I don't care about her movies.
she's dry. She has like a dry and funny humor, which she goes full her in this movie.
Full dry.
Full dry,
She gets
like
fully dry in this movie, guys.
full dry. Bring your own bucket. She like she's just so
Bring your own bucket.
lame. She like you could tell that she
She's there
doesn't
for
want
the
to be
paycheck?
there. Like she doesn't want to be there.
Okay.
So there were some really great lines in the movie that I hope can really give it justice.
Okay.
To get people to go see Madam Web in theaters
webbing
right
time?
now. It's webbing time. So one of the quotes was, "Hope the spiders were worth it, Mom." She's just like looking through her mom's research. And then even worse than that, so she's looking through like her mom's stuff. And then because she's thinking about the bad guy. The bad guy is some like wannabe Spider-Man.
Okay.
And she's looking at like the notes of the mom's notes, because the mom studied this spider, which the only like doable thing in the movie is that the mom studied this spider in the Amazon that gives you like the Spider-Man powers. So it's like, oh, well, that's okay. It's the Peter Parker lore, but like I could deal with that. Like
I'll tell you a direct quote from the movie. This is the one that went viral. That man is Ezekiel Sims. He was in the Amazon with my mom when she was researching spiders right before she died.
So that's the one that's not even in the movie.
It's not in the.
That was just in the trailer.
It's like a way.
Just a random exposition.
So she's
You know
reading.
what that reminds me of? Do you remember the trailer for, I don't know if you saw it, for the newest Jurassic Park? Mm-hmm. And it's when Ellie Sattler and Adam Grant see each other, and they're like, Ellie Sattler, Adam Grant. Who does that when they see someone? No one's
one does that.
says their full name when they see somebody. Walking up like, Cesar Rodriguez.
And if they do, it's like someone from high school.
Yeah.
Not
That's
even
the
that.
only
You say,
time.
hi.
Hey,
Hello, how
no
are you?
way.
Not
What's
like-
up?
Clinton McKay.
As I live and breathe.
Yeah, like, it's like,
Just feels so egoful
even if we
to
had
me.
like a history together, if I say I didn't see you for 10 years, like, oh, hey, Clint, like we still wouldn't be, I wouldn't be like, Clinton McKay.
Like he has a crush on you.
Not even that, it's just so awkward to say somebody's full name that you know well. And like those two, they were sleeping together for many years. Like they had a relationship.
Did
It's
they
not
sleep
like,
together?
do you not know
Jurassic
those
Park movies?
Well, they didn't have it on screen, but they were a couple in those movies. And then the third one,
Were they though?
watch them again. Yeah, you'll. Well,
So-
I do know.
So this great line. So the second great line. So she's reading her mom's notes.
Okay.
And she goes, "How would you know if you could climb a wall if you've never tried?" And then goes and tries to climb the wall in her room.
She does.
Yeah. She gets like halfway up and falls down her ass.
Was this kind of like Catwoman,
Yes.
the Halle Berry Catwoman?
Yeah. It's like
Which is like one of
it's
those.
like they took like a headline of a comic book and we're like, we don't know what we're doing, but here we go.
Have you seen that Catwoman movie?
I did. Yeah.
Caesar, have you seen it?
No.
It's actually kind of amazing at how bad it is.
Yeah.
And I get that vibe from Madam Webb.
Yeah.
where
It's
like
just so bad.
I told you last night, like everyone signs up to do this movie. They're excited, whatever. Like, oh, this is the script. That sounds interesting. This is the premise. All these people signed on to do it. We've got a great crew. And then you do like 1 week of production. You're like, this is gonna suck.
like
And they all know it. Too.
like
They're
these movies. So they know. They have to know.
Well, after
they
a while,
have
after
to-
that first week, they're like, this is gonna be bad.
So then, do
But
they
we
just
have to finish
They
it.
just sit through it as if it's like a random job.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
it's
stuck
almost
here.
like a 9 to 5. Or like,
I'm stuck
gotta
here at
go
this
in.
office.
Yes,
I have to be here.
it's like giving birth to I don't know, this is horrible, like a stillborn baby. Or when like you have a miscarriage, like it's not going to be anything when it comes. I still have to give birth to it.
Oh no,
So I have to walk the road of this. And then once it's out, it's in the past.
that's terrible.
Well, for those involved.
It's a really sad one. Oh my god.
But that's like the best analogy I could think of. Where it's like, this is going to suck, but we
It's
have to
gonna
just
be dead.
deliver
Ugh.
it. We got to show up and just.
Oh, that's
Get rid of it.
tragic.
I feel like this is one of those movies that's
Oh
going to
my
be
God.
culty.
No, it is. We definitely have to watch it. Well, it's like one of those. It's just so bad. It's good. So another great line from the movie: a cat, like a random cat, jumps into
It's a Catwoman crossover.
jumps into her room, and she says, "Hey, us strays need to stick together." Like, what are you talking
It's like
about?
90s dialogue, or like 80s dialogue.
It's like, have you been in a movie? The three diverse girls.
The three diverse girls?
Three diverse girls. Yeah,
What does that mean?
that means they're different races.
Okay. And that's
They're,
part of the plot?
They're seen in the future as like having spider powers,
Okay.
but never get them.
That's for the sequel.
It's just so bad.
That has not been greenlit yet.
Please don't do it. Don't do it. They gotta
See,
stop these.
I
Stop
don't really
these.
know much about Madam Webb other than she's the old lady who can see the future. So I don't know who these other spider people are.
And no
This
one
is like
will.
a thing? Or this is for the movie? It was like a real comic thing.
I think they took random crap from comics and
just
just like stapled
Put
it
it in a
together.
salad spinner and just
Yeah,
saw
I
what
just
came
said,
out.
okay, we need Sydney Sweeney in this movie somehow.
Yeah.
We need a black girl. Don't know her name. That's
Mm.
why I said black girl. And we need a Latina.
Okay.
Latina arachnid. So they got
Is she
another one, don't remember her name. Isabella.
Senorita
Merced.
Araña?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No, her last name is like Coron or something. Like it's pretty Spanish.
Heart, corazón.
Corazon. Yeah. It's like
Wait,
hard.
look it up because
I'm looking it up. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Corazon?
it's Celeste O'Connor. She's Maddie Franklin. Isabella Merced is Anya Corazon.
Oh, Corazon.
And then, of course, Sydney Sweetie is Julia Cornwall.
Cornwall.
And she plays
You didn't know she's white.
She is
Spider Woman.
Cornwall.
Cornwall.
Cornwall, you're cornbread. She's a Husker.
Okay. So, any positive takeaways?
It's
from
really
Madam Web?
funny to watch.
Okay.
So watch it if you need a good laugh.
Okay. It seems culty. It seems one of those movies you see it later and you're like you said, this is so bad that it's so entertaining.
Yeah. Like a kind of.
And it's
wish
going to
you
be one of
guys
those
watched
movies
it.
because we saw some of the press and they're all uninterested.
They're so uninterested.
Where they're just like, yeah, it reminded me of Spider-Man 3. And I saw that, and I don't know if it was Jay Leno. It was some late night show, and it was what's her name, Kristen Dunst,
Yeah.
and she did press for it, and she was just like, because that movie famously sucks, and she was just like not interested in it. They were like, so how's the movie's coming out? She's like, yeah, it's coming. She's like, how was the experience? She's like, it was fun. Like, this is what this kind of gave me vibes.
Oh, yeah. And everyone in that movie was like just so uninterested to talk about it.
It's because they're contracted to talk about it.
Yeah.
They have to do the press tour.
Man,
But
it's
they're
like
this is a turd.
it's like again being in a really lame job, and then you go see your family for Christmas or something, or you go to
How's
some
work?
party. How is work?
That's fine.
It's whatever, and then you have to talk about it again and again and again and again. That's hell.
Or if you get someone new working with you and you have to train them, or, bring them into the job, and you're just like,
This is what it is. It doesn't get better.
Look at us.
I'm the best part of this job.
I looked amazing.
I'm the best part of this job.
I don't know if I would say that for my job.
I mean, you could not say that.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
So any final thoughts on Madam Web?
That's about it.
Okay. So moving on, Shane Gillis.
Dude, he tore it up.
He hosted SNL yesterday.
Yeah.
As we're recording this, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain why?
Because he got signed onto the cast, and then 2 hours later he got fired.
Was it that quick?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like they found him saying something on a podcast
Right.
that they didn't like, so then he quickly got canceled.
And what year is this? Do you know?
2019.
19. Okay. So heavy
Before COVID.
cancel him time.
Yeah, heavy. Yeah, and it seems sad because he wasn't an anybody yet.
No.
So
and that's what's because if you've seen that podcast, it's in a couch, in a house where it's very much a low, not famous yet kind of deal.
Yeah.
You know, where this is just like not to throw us under this, where it's we don't have a huge audience.
Yeah.
But we're gonna say it's just off the cuff. And that's what he did. He was on I don't know if it was his podcast or whatever. I saw the clip a long time ago. I was like, this is very this should be taken seriously.
So yeah, why are you taking it seriously?
And it was okay, so somebody looked for this, and and it was you say shit when you're on podcasts, it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It's just you're just.
It makes it a little scary, but then I don't know. I also think about so many people. People can say what about freedom of speech? But I get it when it's real bad, real offensive.
Yeah. Well, the freedom of speech thing is tricky because there's freedom of speech, which all of us have.
Yeah.
But then
Because you didn't
there's
go to
also-
jail for it.
There's also freedom of consequence. So that one lady, this is recently Gina Carano, the one that was on The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
She's all she's suing Disney and stuff for I said what I wanted to say and blah 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 and the consequences of you saying that are you getting fired.
Yeah.
So you really don't have a case here, regardless of how you feel about what she said. It's just you can say whatever you want, but you also have to be receptive to the consequences of saying whatever you want.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So for him, that meant he got some loser found it wherever and was oh whatever, and then SNL fired him. But it's really amazing because I think cancel culture is kind of going away, which is great.
Do you think so?
I think so. Or it's not as intense as it used to be, where it was someone says one thing and immediately they're done. There's no no questions asked. There's no anything. And so for him to be on SNL is a huge thing. And for them to be you know what, you're funny.
Mm-hmm.
come do the show.
And I like how they've been getting stand-ups on to host.
Yeah.
Nate Bargatze and Shane Gillis. I haven't looked at like the viewership yet. Do they have like the
Every comedian has posted it.
Yeah.
Like on their Instagrams and stuff, or like, this is amazing. This is a win. This is great news, blah, blah, blah. To where personally, I haven't seen like a community of people like, especially comedians, like, this is great.
Yeah.
This is a win-win.
Yeah.
Especially because Shane, because he's so funny. He's so funny.
Yeah.
Like if you watch a stand-up or even listen to him on podcast, he's really fucking funny. And for that to be recognized as like, okay, well, he may have said like an off-kilter thing years ago, but you're still funny. You're still talented. I think it's a great win.
Oh yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It feels like it could be like not like this is like some climactic point of stuff changing, but it does show that like, oh, he's also able to talk about some kind of heavier stuff, which is the funny, like that's his comedy.
The Down syndrome stuff.
Talks about Down syndrome.
It was funny.
It was funny.
All very funny, and it wasn't offensive funny. It was just like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which is also like if a random SNL crowd could handle that, it's like, oh,
yeah,
maybe we could come back to
unless it was edited
anything
in some way, like nobody booed or anything.
Yeah.
And there were laughs, a lot of laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that cancel culture is kind of, people are like, you know what, like who you want to like. It doesn't, unless they're like horrible people. That's different.
And hopefully we could figure that out as a society instead of just, he said that, we're going to get him.
And it's like a minority of people are like, about it. It's like, yourself, dude. It's fine.
I think that's what also was bugging me about some Gen Z kind of people, because they were kind of the quick ones to be like, cancel, because they just grew up with it.
They have that weird internet power.
Yeah.
To where they're able to like control the narrative in some way, where it's like, you guys are the minority and you're children. So I think people are starting to see that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? We're all human.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And his sketches were all funny.
Yeah.
Because SNL could be just like such a hit or miss.
It's 50-50 for me.
Yeah. I almost think 60-40. Like,
okay.
Of like, it could be real bad, but I still watch it. I'm watching for, something good.
Yeah.
Because I love SNL. I grew up watching it. And it seemed like the sketches they wrote for him were very like fitting for him. Like, I like the
first one was really funny in the church.
Like the Like Mike one, where it's the Trump shoes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That was pretty funny. And he gets to do his Trump.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
He does that Trump impression.
Yeah, he does a really good Trump.
Yeah, the church one was funny. And then the Fugliano one was funny. Fugliano was funny.
That was good.
Yeah. Yeah, all of his sketches were funny.
And then you get to Weekend Update, and it's whatever you like. But sometimes I'm like, this is too much.
Too much?
At the Weekend Update.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It just feels like a lot of media right now where it's just like so left.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch sometimes.
Or so right, depending on what you watch.
Like right wing?
Yeah.
What have you seen that's been so right winged?
Fox.
Oh, well, yeah, but I'm saying SNL
stuff. Oh,
well,
SNL. I don't watch SNL, so I
that's why.
That's also like I have no barometer for that. But
it's not about picking a side. It's like, can't we just make fun of everything? Which
but they do, don't they? Like they make fun of Biden too.
But it's like if I picked on you more than Marcus in like a, you know what I mean? Like in a, like over the top picking on you at times.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean,
that's because I watch it so much though, so I can kind of critique it.
I'll be on the record and say whoever's getting made fun of on SNL deserves it.
They do though. They do.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. They probably deserve it. You probably made it too. Like when they had the Ball Brothers dad on, or Keenan dressed up as him.
Yeah.
What are the Ball Brothers?
The Ball Brothers, basketball.
The LeVar Ball.
Oh.
So that's when I realized, like they kind of made it big. They're from Chino Hills.
Oh.
So that's why it's like, they're actually kind of a thing if SNL makes fun of you.
Okay. All right, cool. I've been watching a lot of Veep lately, and just watched the episode where SNL makes fun of. Do you ever watch Veep?
Veep's a good show.
Veep is probably the funniest show I've ever watched.
Ever?
Probably ever.
You like it that much?
I love Veep,
and I've heard you talk about Veep
because I watch it like maybe once a year, but it's very much like my comfy show because it's very much my humor. It's like dark. It's like makes fun of like the things you're not supposed to make fun of.
Yeah,
you know, and it's just so intelligent. It's like so intelligently funny, and all the characters are horrible people.
Yeah,
but you just can't stop watching them.
Mm-hmm.
I love that show. But they did an episode. The episode I watched last was where SNL makes fun of Selena Meyer.
Oh,
I was like, because she's deserves to be made fun of.
Who do they have cast in like the SNL people?
I don't know. I have no idea because it was of that time. I don't even know if it's a real SNL cast member. It's just an actor. I don't know. Oh, I'll look it up when we leave.
Yeah. You know who you remind me of though?
Oh, who?
It's a show that's ending on HBO.
Okay.
It's a long-running show.
Okay.
Larry David on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
It's okay. It's unique that you say that because I also love Seinfeld's one of my most favorite shows ever.
Yeah.
And Curb, I like go in and out of it because there's just so much of it.
There's a lot, yeah.
But Larry David is probably one of the funniest people on the planet.
Probably is.
And I like that kind of humor is my.
I know.
Like,
you need to
mecca.
find a way to take your like him. Like he hates most things.
Yes.
But he finds a way to make it like so fun to watch.
Right. Yeah. And he's such a crotchety piece of shit. But he's also kind of endearing in a way.
Yeah. Like and then sometimes some of the stuff he is mad about is like, oh, this kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like in the new episode, glasses, he drops his glasses in a toilet and then is like asking the maid to help him take it out because he's like not wanting to touch him.
Right. There's an episode of Seinfeld where it's like a really quick joke, but Jerry, he's in the in a bathroom and his belt like touches the urinal as he undoes it and just throws it away. He's like, well, that's lost at this point. It's like that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so good because then he gets in like a debacle with a woman because they're out visiting in Atlanta in the episode in this newest season, this new last season of Curb.
Yeah,
and he's like complaining about his glasses, and he ends up having to like wear this woman's like spare pair of glasses.
Yeah.
So he's wearing like girly glasses, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then
they do
he's
that
having
joke
to like
in Seinfeld too.
explain it.
Where
Yeah.
George has to wear ladies' sunglasses.
Oh yeah.
Or he buys women's glasses, but the guy selling them doesn't tell them they're women's glasses. So he's like, oh, these are cool. And then everyone's like, you're wearing lady glasses. And he's like, what? He just doesn't get it. But yeah, Larry David's like my comedy king.
Yeah.
And then mixed with, again, like, so Veep, Seinfeld, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
The physicality of her humor.
Yeah.
You ever like watch her, just like the way she moves and like reacts to
Yeah,
things?
I love
like,
it.
She's like a genius when it comes to all comedy, but especially physical comedy of how you move your body, how you react to people. It's where like, that's kind of like my, I don't want to say study it, but just like, oh, this is like, this is what I like. I really want to get this.
Yeah.
That's why I love Veep.
Man.
And again,
I need to rewatch Veep.
It's
Veep is good.
it's an incredible show. The last season's kind of whatever, but every season up until the last is like every episode is a banger. Like you can't not.
Because who made that show?
I don't know who the creators are.
Is it Italian guy, Armando Iannucci or something?
Armando.
Armando Iannucci.
Iannucci.
Yeah.
I don't know what else he's done, but yeah, Veep's an incredible show. Caesar, have you watched Veep at all?
It's hilarious.
It's one of the best shows ever.
Because it's just as mean as like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
And what's so crazy about Veep, especially nowadays, you're like, this is like what politics I think are actually like right now about what happens behind the scenes. Like they all hate each other and they all hate us.
Yeah.
They're just they're all just like trying to make money off of it or use us in some way. So it's like a really interesting satire where it's like, well, this is probably true what's happening, but it is also a satire. Like, this is a comedy show. It's just like it's so meta that it kind of breaks your brain a little bit. That like, oh no, this is real.
Yeah. That's why I like there was that one episode of Succession where They literally have a party. It's all the rich people.
Mm-hmm.
They have a party to pick who's going to be the president.
I would not doubt that in the slightest.
Surprised. Oh my God. Yeah, stuff like that. And then just makes you think about anytime you try to debate, it just makes it feel like this is such a waste of time.
Yeah,
it's just
it doesn't matter. It has nothing. We have no control over anything.
Yeah. What's it going to do? I don't know.
Nothing. Just make us mad. Or just get us all riled up in some way.
So thank you, Shane Gillis.
Yeah, thank you, Shane Gillis,
for
getting on SNL. And that was a good show.
It was good.
Right. Bumping into this mic, dude. It's like in my mouth.
In your mouth.
Yeah, insert quote here.
Ooh.
Okay, should we talk about Drugstore June?
Yeah.
All right, so last night, you and I went to a screening of a movie called Drugstore June, written, starring Esther Pavitsky. It was a great movie.
This is really funny.
It was, I was interested in watching it not only because I'm an Esther fan, but because there's a lot of stand-ups in it. And, just them having their hands on a movie in some way. And Bill Burr produced it.
Yeah.
Them having their hands on a movie, I knew already, okay, I'm probably going to like this.
Mm-hmm.
And you heard about it too. And I was like, let's go. They're doing screenings and with the Q&A afterwards. So let's go. So we went. And it was a great movie.
Yeah.
I want to hear, before I get into all of my thoughts about it, I'd like to hear your thoughts about the movie.
I like it. I knew the director because
Nick Goosen?
Nick Goosen. He directed the web series by Nick Swartzen that was my first ever PA gig.
Mm-hmm.
So that just brings me back to watching them just be so silly.
Yeah.
Filming in LA.
Yes.
Which just made me feel like that must have been what they did with this movie.
Right.
Just doing silly things, driving around LA, which is literally the dream.
Yeah.
That's like the dream, is to just go be funny with friends. I like how it was shot, and it was shot in like 19 days or something.
Okay.
Just not a super large amount of time, but they really didn't need to.
No.
And I liked all the jokes. It must be really cool to have a friend who's like, yeah, I want to make the You movie, the movie about you, because it was mostly based on a lot of her stand-up kind of stuff,
Right.
and her life that she lived. But man, it'd just be so nice to have that friend who's like, oh yeah, I'll make a movie about you.
Yeah.
Just let's write it together.
Right.
Which is so sick.
And then to have Bill Burr be like, I'll help you get it.
Yeah, I'll produce it.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Burr is really funny. I like Miranda Cosgrove was in it for like 2 scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But she's great. She's a babe. Because she was viral for saying the F word on Winnie Cummings'
Right.
podcast.
She's also an actress who did Nickelodeon stuff.
Oh, yes.
So
iCarly.
a big deal.
And so that was cool. Yeah, it was just a big deal to have her in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Haley Joel Osment. It was just a good time. And then I loved the Q&A after.
Q&A was fun.
With Rick Glassman. I feel like Rick Glassman when I wear my glasses.
Remember when so Caesar watched the movie and the lights are still off, but the credits are playing and the Q&A is like setting up on like in the front of the theater. And I saw one of the guys and I was like, Clint, that looks like Rick Glassman does. He has like a very unique silhouette.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that's him. And then the lights turn on and I was like, oh my God. And then my first thought was like, he's going to hijack this whole thing. He's going to make it about him in a good way, like not in a bad way. He was very funny. And he did, which is kind of interesting to see. But yeah, we got to see him do the Q&A, and then it was him, and it was Esther, Haley, Miranda, Nick Goosen, and then a producer, the other guy in the end.
Yeah.
Some other producer. It was not Bill Burr.
No. Should have been.
So yeah, it was cool to see the movie. It was cool to go out to the theater and see a movie in like a smaller theater. Like it wasn't like a AMC.
Yeah.
Or like
The chairs were nice.
the chairs were nice.
We were way in the back.
It was just, it felt like one of those theaters you go to where it's like, oh, you're here for like, because there was only like 2 screens or something. It was like, you're here to watch a good movie.
Yeah.
And then the QA was nice. And then we were in North Hollywood too. So it was a nice experience.
Yeah.
I do have some thoughts about the movie though, if I can get into those.
Sure.
So this movie, when I went home afterwards and I really kind of like This is what I do when I do watch movies. Like I'm very much into the movie when I watch it, and then when I go home or afterwards, that's when it starts to process. I start thinking about things. Like I don't know, like we've talked about how I watch movies before. I'm very much like in it, right? I don't emote a lot, which is kind of what I do with this one too. But then I went home and I had a lot of thoughts about it. And one of my favorite movies is The Big Lebowski.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was watching the movie, I thought like this is kind of giving me Big Lebowski vibes.
Yeah.
Just the character of June.
Yeah.
Independent of what happens around her. Like she gives me the dude vibes. And it was interesting to after the Q&A, the director came out. Right, he was part of the Q&A, and he first of all looked like the dude.
Yeah.
He was wearing the same kind of getup.
Yeah, like the sweater.
Yeah, and then I don't know, remember what question was asked or whatever, but he had mentioned like, oh, that was kind of an inspiration for the movie. And I was like, I knew it, dude. And what really struck me about June and the dude, well, independent. I'll get the dude in a second, but was that I kind of was. June is not a good person, really.
Yeah.
Like she's not, evil in any way, but she very much embraces her negative qualities as good qualities, and they're all very much the 7 deadly sins. The antithesis of the heavenly virtues. And so I was like, gluttony was the one that stuck out to me the most because she's always eating.
Yeah, I literally got In-N-Out today, and
you thought of June.
I also got a milkshake.
Oh, so you want? So you're gonna,
Just like
you're gonna shit later.
Yeah,
The
I
milkshake.
already did.
So yeah, she's a glutton, sloth. She's very lazy. Doesn't want to clean her room. The one thing that's asked of her from someone else in the movie, I think, is to clean her room, and she's just like, no. Lust, the third sin. She does that sexy dance in the beginning, like boys are bad, blah blah blah. Right? And
This is Davey's favorite song.
Yeah, when the mom walks in, and then she's really horny for Owen later. Pride. She thinks her and Davey are like meant to be together and refuses to get over it, even though he's like, no, we're done. Envy. She wants a larger following with her June squad, and she does whatever it takes to get that because you're envious of that large following. This is very much a Gen Z millennial clash movie because she's like she's a millennial in real life. I don't know if she's playing younger in the movie.
She seems like she's playing younger.
She is playing, I couldn't tell how much younger though. I'm just going to be like, she's on that edge. Wrath. She has her speech at the end to Davey and Kelly, and ends up into a fist fight that's done off screen, which I thought was interesting. And then the last sin was greed, which she encompasses about when she got fired. She got fired, right? She didn't leave.
Oh yeah, she got fired.
Miss Pat fired her.
Yeah.
She took way more ice cream than she was supposed to, and then just her whole life is indulgency anyway, which is greedy. So I thought that was really interesting that she very much encompasses the 7 deadly sins and has no shame about it. And so how she reminded me of the dude from The Big Lebowski. You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
Caesar, have you seen Big Lebowski?
Yeah.
Okay. Incredible movie. So I'll just read what I wrote. June is an exercise in pointlessness, a woman of her place and time. She lives in the moment. Similar to the dude and his rug, her rug, the pharmacy, gets pulled out from underneath her, and it shakes up her complacency, her living in the moment. She then goes on a quest to get back what she knows. This is kind of just all over the place. I really appreciate that she did not change much over the course of her journey, because she goes on this whole journey after the pharmacy gets burglarized.
Yeah.
And so part of me is kind of spotty about why she goes on the investigation. I know like Bobby Lee has to do, it's like an insurance thing. She just wants, and then the police are like, you did it. She wants to find out why she didn't. But she goes on this whole journey and doesn't really change at all. She's still her same kind of horrible self.
Yeah.
The only thing that really changes is that she gets over Davey through Owen. But that's it. And then she's rewarded for that at the end with her cupcake. She gets her treasure, she gets the treasure at the end of the level.
Yeah.
That she has to use her lockbox to open. And I thought that was so interesting that she goes on this journey. She's this person who is like, okay, I want to continue my life this way. This is what I want. And like the same as the dude. The dude is like a very zen character. He's just like, hey man, tomorrow's different. It'll be different tomorrow. She's not like that, but she's in the sense that this is her life and this is what she wants her life to be. And then something disrupts that. And she was like, well, I want my life the way it needs, how it was before, and it needs to stay that way. So she does that. She goes on this odyssey to fix that. And she ends up, like she does change a little. Like she gets over the guy, but she's back to normal at the end. Back to how she was. This piece of shit that she was before. Man. But she now gets her treasure. She gets her cupcake.
Yeah.
I thought it was just very, like, to me, The Big Lebowski it's one of those movies that I just put on and just, it's on.
Yeah.
And it's just so comforting. And like, I wish I could be the dude, even though he's always,
you kind of dude-like.
Yeah, but he's just like, doesn't have a lot. He's just got he loves his rug. He loves his rug. That one dude pisses on. He's like, I got to get my new rug. I got to get my rug back. And that's the motivation for the whole journey. It's just getting my rug back, my life back. And he's just so zen. He's just like, whatever. Yeah. Tomorrow's a new day. Things are going to change. And I don't know. I felt very endeared seeing June just be that person
and not change. So do you think that in movies or just following a character, do you think that they have to be totally different by the end?
No, absolutely not. There's no reason. Not all movies are, quote, growth movies. What's great about Big Lebowski and this movie is like these people are very much happy in their lives.
Yeah.
And this is their life. And they get shaken up. So I'm like, well, no. I got to get back to what I know, what I like. And then they get it at the end.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Like I brought up before when we watched it, the pharmacy thing, it gets burgled.
Right.
And I was expecting them to not go back to that. That's like, well, we need something to shake up this girl's journey. So let's just do this pharmacy robbery thing. And it's really not important who actually robbed their pharmacy, even though they do reveal it at the end. It's just important that we gave her this thing to like make her go on this journey.
To go do something.
To get her life, to like overcome this obstacle to get back to what she was before. I don't know. It was one of the. It was interesting how much this movie stuck with me. I'm still thinking about it because I haven't had a movie like do this to me in a while. And like I wrote a little bit about the other characters in this movie, even though I kind of feel a lot of them are throwaways, not in a bad way, because it's not called Drugstore Bobby Lee, which I couldn't remember his name in the movie.
I just knew it was so much.
And it wasn't on IMDb, so I'm just gonna call him Bobby Lee.
It was Billy.
It was Billy? Okay, Billy the pharmacy guy. Because it's like all these characters are tertiary to June, and they don't really affect, in my opinion, they don't really affect how she sees the world at all or how she navigates the world at all. They're just kind of victim, it's a loose term, to just her. Yeah. So like Bobby Lee, I really have had trouble kind of dissecting his character because only thing I could think of was just the meek pharmacy owner who tolerates June as his incompetent employee, but also seems to care for her and recommends numerous times that she sees a therapist in order to get over Davy, and then also accompanies her. He's like, okay, let's do this and figure this out. But other than that, I couldn't really find any other point to him being in the movie. Because he gets what he wanted at the end because he wants that insurance thing, and like he gets satisfied. Yeah. But I had struggled to really get anything more from him from that.
Yeah, he's kind of sort of the mentor. So then when you have the mentor lose his house, his store, it's like that's what's going to get the apprentice to go do something, I guess, probably. And because he does kind of try to help her out. He does kind of try to be.
Yeah, he used to tell her like, you got to stop being a loser.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh well, he kind of benefited off the whole theft, anyways.
Yeah, he got his insurance claim or whatever,
which is cool.
End up being great.
Yeah.
And then the mom too. She was interesting because she would like try to get June to grow up, or just like, hey. clean your room
Yeah.
or whatever. But then I also felt like she didn't really want that.
Yeah.
Because it gave her something to do. But it was interesting that she knew the lockbox to the combination
Yeah.
to the lockbox for the cupcake. I thought it was interesting. That I don't know. It was a weird
Yeah, I
choice
don't. It's
there.
because June is very millennial Gen Z, and I feel like a lot of times like parents, specifically parents of this generation, are often like, you need to do this, you have to do that, and then
They try to be your
oftentimes-
friend.
and they try to be your friend while also telling you to get off your phone. But it's like, if having her little follower group is what makes her happy, it's like, then they're gonna let you be on your phone.
Yeah.
Like if that's the one thing, because she doesn't have much going on in her life.
It's a
She
June
has
squad.
this somewhat group of followers.
It was
So,
interesting that it never said how big the following
Yeah.
was.
it's
So it could
probably
be like
nice.
10 people?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, honestly, it's probably like 10.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. And then the dad was there to make you know that she's Jewish.
Yeah.
He had the Star of David pendant on his neck, which was like, all right, he's a Jew. He's a yes. He's a gambling addict, or had a gambling problem, which is also life for her because her dad has a gambling problem. Talks about it many times. What else did I write about it? He's like wait a minute. Him too. He was just there to kind of be the jerk.
Kind of.
He's very upset that she got them banned from his favorite burger place.
I mean, I would be
was
too.
Yeah.
My kid did that.
Mm-hmm. The brother too. See, this is the thing. I'm having trouble with the other characters in this movie just because there's not a lot. I don't know if it's just going over my head, but there's not really a lot to them.
Mm-hmm.
The brother's just there to be the annoying brother.
Yeah.
Does all the stereotypical younger brother.
Yeah. And then he's like super Gen Z.
Yeah. It's just like a brother from an 80s movie. Where
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
like
I
farts
think
at her
that's
at
it
one
too,
point.
because in 80s movies, the other family characters aren't usually that.
They're just
that
annoying.
deep. They're just there.
They're just there to be annoying.
They're just sort of stumbling blocks.
Like, you don't get it, guys. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And then I have nothing to say about Miranda Cosgrove because she's in two scenes.
She's in two
And
scenes.
she doesn't. She's just there to
Yeah.
like look angry at the camera.
Yeah, which is funny during the Q&A, and someone's like, "What was the favorite
scene?
What's your favorite scene?"
I had two.
The one with the onion rings.
Yeah. Owen.
Such a tough choice. There were two scenes.
Yeah, she was in two scenes. Owen, I said, is just the red herring, and then you see that flower tattoo at the beginning. Like, oh, he's gonna show up later.
That was nice.
And you're like, so he's coming back, but then I don't know. And then Davey was an interesting character to me because first of all, just it's Haley Joel Osment,
Yeah.
who everybody knows, from The Sixth Sense, obviously, or Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts. Wow.
The voice of Sora. He felt like I felt not relatable to Davey, but almost bad for him. Where he's like, he's like works at his burger place. He just wants to move on. He wants to be with his new pretty wife, who I don't know how that happened. And like he just wants like eat like another burger or like another onion ring, and no one's giving him what he wants.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did you get with June in the first place? That's a really weird coupling.
I think just workers.
And he's just like, doesn't look like Owen, not like a tall, good looking guy. It just like, this poor man just wants to move on with his life. And then June just won't let him do it.
No.
I just felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
And they do this one scene at the beginning of the movie where they're all at the dinner table. And I forget the context, but Davey's brought up as like having like opinions about something. Do you remember this? It was like really offhand, and I can't remember what they were talking about. I don't know if it was anything political, but it was like, oh, he sounds like a smart guy. But they were just like, no, like that's not said here. I just felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Felt bad for Davey.
Yeah. And it also made me think like they must be playing younger characters, right? If like you're
I think so. They're all
now in your
younger.
40s. How old is he?
I think he's my age.
Yeah.
35.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's just been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Just
He
think
was
of him
like
as-
6 in The Sixth Sense.
Yeah. But then he just I don't know, once he got into his adult form,
Yeah, he does
just
not
seemed a
look
lot
like he
older.
did when he was a cute little kid.
does not.
Which is also why I again, he's not Owen. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you see this cute little kid, which I think was kind of intentional in a way, where like Haley Joel Osment, if you haven't seen him do anything since The Sixth Sense, your image of him is like, oh, this cute little kid who like acted in this movie. And then like the rest of us, he grew up and he's not a cute little kid anymore. He's just like a regular looking guy.
Yeah,
I mean, if he cut his hair, he'd look better, to be honest.
I think so too.
But he just looks like a very regular white dude. So you're like, oh God. It's just jarring to see like this cute little kid turn into this guy, which I think was kind of intentional.
Yeah,
In a way. That like it's just like it just pronounced like what's the right word? Like exaggerates that this is just a normal person.
Yeah,
Who does not need to be around June. And even like Miranda Cosgrove's not nice to him.
yeah.
Like, she's kind of like a him. So I just felt bad for him.
Yeah, it's a classic 80s movie.
Yeah, this poor dude's just, how did he catch these two girls? I don't know.
Must be nice.
But
It's tough out here.
He's just like the nice working class guy.
Yeah.
I just felt bad for him.
Me too, because even Haley said that the character's beta. It's
Yeah,
like
he is very beta.
A
He's
beta
very
male.
much a beta male.
And it's like, oh, that's a thing. That's totally a thing.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard to watch. It's hard to watch a beta male,
Yeah. Is it?
but it's just cringe. I don't know.
It's just, I don't know if it's hard. It's just kind of sad.
Yeah, well, that's why it's hard,
Yeah.
because you kind of feel bad.
But then, yeah, I guess you're right. I don't have many thoughts about it. I'm going to
I
continue.
mean, you had a lot of
I'm gonna-
thoughts. Wow.
Well, I'm going to continue to think about. I have to watch it again.
Oh, naturally.
Because some stuff I don't, like I was saying, the conversation at the table I don't really remember too well. And now that I have a feel in the movie, because I told you when I watched it, the first like 15 minutes, I was like, nothing's happening in this.
Yeah.
And nothing is really going on. But with these, how I think about it now, it'd be really cool to watch it again and just be like, okay. So like other thoughts, other than that, I really enjoyed it. I love the similarities between this and The Big Lebowski. I love that it was confirmed by the director in the Q&A, so I'm not crazy. I like seeing all the comedian cameos. It was a nice touch. It was nice seeing Steph Tolev not being unhinged.
Yeah.
Because I think she's funny. Every once in a while, she goes over the edge for me. I'm like, all right, a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was nice seeing her just being like dryly funny, because her whole scene was, everything she said was funny.
Yeah.
Every one of her lines was a joke.
I laughed at every line.
Yeah, every
she
line was a
said.
joke, and it was good and it landed.
I was like, look at you acting.
Yeah, look at you acting.
Look at you.
The soundtrack was fucking fire.
It was epic.
I loved that
Yeah.
soundtrack.
Yeah, that's what kept
I
me
listened
going.
to
in
it
the movie.
twice today.
Yeah.
I listened to it beforehand. I told you, like, it came out a month ago, and I was like, this is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And it had Com Truise on it. If you guys know who that is, Com Truise is amazing. It was an incredible soundtrack.
Yeah, I loved it.
I loved it so much.
I really love a good movie soundtrack.
I like that he brought up Drive. Or maybe it was Rick Glassman brought up Drive.
He did, yeah.
You've seen Drive before, right? The soundtrack of Drive really like changed me for that movie. It's just like when you get a soundtrack that's just incredible for a movie, when it's put to a movie that in itself is incredible without a soundtrack, it's just like it's
it. I love
just
that.
feel vibrations in your body. So yeah, I loved it.
Wow.
I'll watch it again.
Yeah, I hope that they keep making movies. All the comedian people.
Yeah.
Just keep making them. Just do it. We need more funny movies.
Yeah.
Not Madam Web funny.
No, not Madam Web.
Cringe.
Superhero movies suck.
They're over.
So I did write down the cameos that I spotted. I'm sure I missed some. We have Bill Burr, obviously. Trevor Wallace in the weed store.
He was
being weed
great
guy.
cast. Yeah, great casting.
He was good. I'm not the biggest Trevor Wallace fan, but he was good as the weed guy.
Yeah, he was
He
great.
just like weed.
The whole time.
Yeah, and it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
Steph Tolev, shout out. I think she was my favorite cameo. She killed it. Miss Pat. I did not know Miss Pat was going to be in the movie.
I know either.
I love Miss Pat. Have you seen her show?
A little bit.
The Miss Pat show?
A little bit.
It's amazing. Mwah, mwah, Miss Pat.
Wow.
I love Miss Pat. Caesar, have you seen the Miss Pat show?
No, I have not.
You watch it, dude. I think it's on BET Plus, but if you have Amazon, you might be able to watch it too. I think.
Amazon.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Her stand-up's hilarious too. Al Madrigal was the detective, and then the lady detective was Adam Sandler's wife.
Yeah,
I've never seen her before.
She's
an actress.
Usually does random parts in his movies.
Oh, okay. She was in 50 First Dates, right?
Yeah, is that where they met? Maybe.
No, I'm sure it was way before that.
Before that.
But yeah,
Because I recognize the angry eyes because she's got angry-looking eyes. So I've seen that character before. Now that you mentioned that.
Yeah, and then I knew because I watched that movie that they were him and his whole family were in for Netflix.
The Halloween one.
It's about like his daughter is like a
Sweet
main
16
character.
one?
Yeah, she has like her bar mitzvah.
Oh, okay.
That was
they did a Halloween one, right?
Yeah, they did that too.
Hebe
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah,
I think also Nick Goosen did that one.
maybe.
Or he was part of it in somewhere.
Probably.
Dolph Diggler. That was. I was like, what? He was the delivery guy. Delivered the drugs. Like, that's random. And then the Cash Me Outside girl was in.
Yeah, Bad Baby.
Yeah, and she was funny. I feel like she was just being herself though.
Yeah.
Because I have no, what is her name?
Bad Baby.
Baby. I get that confused with
Bad Baby.
Bunny. Because they both sound like lady names.
That's more like Peso Pluma. But anyways,
Because I know that she's like a big deal, but I haven't listened to her music or seen her or anything. I just know her as the Cash Me Outside girl. I know she's like a billionaire now.
yeah.
But you told me afterwards, like, oh, that's the girl. I was like, she was very funny. Like, she had really good timing, and I don't think she was acting. I think she was just being her normal persona. But it was very good.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah, and those are all the ones that I caught. I'm sure I missed some, but like, because the security guard were like, I know this guy's somebody, but I don't know who he
didn't
is.
look him up.
Matt Walsh was in it.
Matt Walsh.
Like, what the hell? You're in this movie for 5 minutes. Speaking of Veep, like Matt Walsh.
Oh,
in
yeah,
this movie? That's why I was like, what? Because I've been watching a lot of Veep. Matt Walsh, you're in this. Yeah, I can't wait to watch it again.
Awesome.
Hopefully, it'll be out on streaming soon.
Yeah, it's one of those where I hope people can actually see it.
Yeah,
Because I've seen other independent movies before, and I go, well, that was cool. See it in LA, and then I never see it on something.
Yeah, it doesn't release anywhere. There's no hard copy.
Yeah, like there was that Brixby Bear one that was done by Kyle Mooney from SNL. I saw it at like the Lemley.
Yeah,
and I even met people from the movie, and then I could never find it.
that sucks.
Couldn't even buy it on DVD.
Can't stream it. You can't buy it. Just gone.
Yeah, but we'll find a way. We'll let the people know.
Yeah. Would you watch Drugstore June again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even just for the sound, just to watch a funny movie.
Yeah.
It was just so good.
I would say to anyone watching it, it's a comedy, but just like look deeper.
Uh-huh.
You know, like, again, to me, it's Big Lebowski vibes. Just this is funny, but there's more going on here than you think there is.
Yeah.
Especially about the human condition. So just check it out, guys. Drugstore June.
Do it.
I think it opens wide March 1st or something like that. Or more theaters it'll be open, but
Damn, this movie sounds deeper than Oppenheimer over here.
having not seen Oppenheimer, I can tell you it's a pretty deep movie. Again, if you go into it with the Big Lebowski vibe of just like, this is funny and it's goofy and it's silly and
Is that one of your favorite movies?
Big Lebowski, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's over the top, but like there's a lot going on here about, like I said, the human condition, the human psyche, how you see yourself in the world, how you react to the world around you, and how that world reacts to you. There's just a lot of stuff going on there. And maybe it'll teach you a little something about yourself.
And that,
who knows?
Yeah, I guess it's that maybe you don't have to go through a crazy change.
No. Maybe you're just
Maybe you
okay
don't.
just the way you are.
Maybe you're all right.
And, you know, there's people telling you that you're terrible or that you're like
You're
you know what I mean?
terrible.
Like, yeah, they tell her that in the movie all the time. They're just like, what is wrong? You're a horrible person. And she's like, I'm happy.
But
I'm not hurting
yeah.
anybody. I want my cupcakes and I want my burgers and my ice cream cones and I want this June Squad thing.
But like I keep bringing up Madam Web because it's so bad, and it's like it has characters
Okay.
that like I just like there's not enough likability in a bad movie. Like the characters don't have it, but like with June, she's like a bad person but so likable.
Well, Madam Web, I don't think they're putting much thought into that movie.
They might have, but it's
If
also
they did,
this
it's
is
lost in
also the
production.
way that you
The difference between
can
Madam Web,
see like a bad person, but
Yes.
then be able to root for them. And that's what I'm always looking for a movie where I want to root for
Let me
somebody.
tell you the difference between Madam Web and Drugstore June. Madam Web is made by people who don't give a shit about it.
They don't care.
Like, it's studios, it's execs, it's somebody like this is gonna make $1 billion, right?
Yeah.
That's what they want from the movie. Drugstore June is made by people that care about the movie.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing. Like,
It's like
why don't they understand that you need to care about the characters? You need to actually care.
Because not everybody does.
That's sad.
People still watch movies that are like
Ugh.
these big block. So this is a superhero movie.
Yeah.
Madam Web. You're not going to watch a superhero movie to like invest in the character. You may say you are, and like it could be a little bit of that, but you're going to go watch like a fun, good time movie.
Hopefully.
That's the point of those
That's
kind of
the goal.
movies.
Yeah.
It's not. I'm not going to go watch Madam Web to like really think about stuff. Really think about like how I react to the world. I'm watching like hot ladies shoot webs or whatever goes on in that movie.
If only there were webs.
Okay, well they don't even do that. Did they at least break her back or something? Like, let's go back to Madam Web. Did she at least become the old crotchety
Yeah.
broken at the end?
She gets broken, yeah.
Okay. Is she old at the end?
Not really.
So for the sequel. For the sequel, she will not be old.
It's true. Go watch movies where the people made it and they cared.
Yeah. Blockbusters, these big giant movies,
Yeah.
like your Disney stores, those.
Stop.
Like those
Just
things.
stop watching. We gotta stop watching them, people.
Or not don't stop watching them, but just know what you're getting into when you go to watch those movies.
Just soullessness.
Yes. You're here for toys. You're here
Ugh.
for movies that sell toys.
Ugh.
And on that note, do we have anything else for our episode today?
I think we got it.
I have a fun story about arriving late, but I'll save it for next time because it's not really.
Because it's too late now.
Yeah, it's too late, and it's also not. It's not topical. It can be said in whenever. So we'll end the show on that. I'm gonna call this episode Drugstore June. Hopefully
Drugstore June?
Hopefully we get the traffic.
Yeah, let's get the traffic from
Drugstore
the
June
movie.
traffic.
Let's get Esther
A
to
30-minute review on Drugstore
see
June.
this.
Yeah. It was a great movie, dude. It's either you go watch it, you'll like it.
Oh, well.
For the soundtrack alone, it's incredible. I know you're a
Yeah, I'll
music
probably
guy.
listen to it on the drive home.
You said it's compared to the Drive soundtrack, then I got to check it out.
Yeah.
Well, in the sense of like the soundtrack as a character, like the soundtrack drives. It's almost like movies, like how I see like movies that are set in New York City, where New York City itself is a character. Movies like this, where the soundtrack is a character, and it really rises the movie. So check it out. So we'll end it at that today.
yeah.
Thanks for being here, Caesar. Do your things.
You could hit me up at I am Caesar Rodriguez Podcast if you want to produce a podcast for you, and at The Rodriguez Show on Instagram. That's for my other radio show that I do. All right, back to you guys.
All right, at the _Clint Show. Getting stuff going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How's your show? Are you still working on your show?
Yeah. Small update.
Oh.
So the Young Life organization that I volunteer with is looking for like to give a grant to visual arts.
Okay.
So there might be even more opportunities for people who want to help kids make stuff.
There we go.
So be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout. Uncle 2_ Marcus and everything. With 30s pod and everything. Drugstore June out in theaters March 1st. I think that's right. Wide release March 1st. And thanks for being here.
Thanks, y'all.
Bye bye. Eat cupcakes.